To inviting undocumented workers. America.
Hi Rashad, this is Rebecca Lane, and I just want to go through your video really quick. Okay, so first off, I want to address the framing that you've got right here. Notice how you're like leaning over the computer. It kind of looks like you're looking down at it. We can see that computer glow right here on your face. Okay, so these are all things that are going to take away from the quality. What I strongly recommend is showing yourself from the bottom of your rib cage to the top of your head, and that allows you to use hand gestures. And I see that you've already got that impulse to use hand gestures, but what happens further on in your video, you'll notice that you start to cover your face.
America is continually evolving.
You see right there? So we don't want our hands to get in the way of our face. We just want to communicate sincerely. So go ahead, and I recommend putting your computer on a really tall box, on a tall stool, and then sitting at a level that is so that you can look up at your camera rather than look down into it. Okay, so we're going to move forward a little bit more.
Into a more diverse nation. And there are advantages to inviting undocumented workers to become productive citizens in our country through a pathway to citizenship.
Okay, so you just jumped right into your big idea. What was your open with impact? What was your punch? Do you have a statement? Do you have a story? How can you ease us in? What's your hook?
As we speak right now, there are over 11 million.
Okay, so you notice how this camera is moving as your body moves? That's a problem. We need to make sure that your camera is on a different level than you are, on a different surface, so that we don't get this bounce action happening.
Undocumented workers here within the U.S. What we need to do as Americans is to be open to embracing change and to understand, because of the attractiveness of our country and our culture, there will always be those who want to cross our borders and to become what we call Americans. Oh, what we really also should consider is that there is no other country better than ours. Initially, after my retirement from the military, I had the pleasure of working in a ship.
I really like your facial expressions. I really like your vocal variation. You've got a really conversational tone. So you're starting out in a really good place. The story that you're going into right now, I had thought that that was the story that you were going to start with. If not, I'm sorry about that, but if so, it was a really good story. So let's hear what you've got.
Yard with many people who were undocumented workers, and I worked with them for about a year and a half. And what I discovered is that we are far more alike than we are different. What you need to do is understand that you can make a difference by supporting immigration reform. Some things.
Okay, one of the things you're doing really well, I love how you're making direct eye contact with the camera. You can't see it right now, but it was there just a second ago. Well done. I like how you're using your pauses too. So you're doing some really great work there.
That I've learned, first of all, without immigration reform, that America will be aborting some of her best educated students, people who we've made an investment in their education. Secondly, immigrant families from South America and other places have a strong sense of family values and family pride, which will only enhance what we have here currently within our culture and within our country. And thirdly, immigrant workers consistently convey a strong work ethic and dedicated to.
This is a really great, really strong preview. Try to pick up the pace. Find some places where you can speak a little bit faster. The way you are speaking, everything is important. And while I do believe that what you are saying is important and that clarity is important and you have excellent enunciation and stuff like that, some of your ideas can be presented in a faster manner. All right, moving forward.
Contributing factors to our country. Many immigrants have become educated in this country and are a viable asset to the future stability of this country. Families are the fabric of our country, and also America will be giving up some of her best and most productive workers. So in closing, the pathway to citizenship.
Okay, Rashad, I'm seeing what's happened here. Make sure that you flesh this out. There are some opportunities in your outline that we talked about that we were going to have, that I figured that you would flesh out. So go ahead and do that. Also, make sure you're citing sources. So the outline is really just a starting point where we put the titles of the mini stories that we plan to tell, the titles of the research that we plan to explain. And then our job as a speaker is to go ahead and explain that, follow through and explain that in our own words when we actually present the speech. So and I think we emailed about this, you will need to flesh this out a lot because we need to have 15 seconds per slide.
Is the best way to help.
Okay, and now you're starting to look at that camera or that screen, that computer screen, so make sure that you really are looking directly at us.
Undocumented workers become full-fledged American citizens. When we say that we are Americans, we're not speaking of a particular race or ethnic group, but all should be welcome to be called Americans that are faithful and loyal to our ideals and our country. Thank you.
Okay, that's a really strong conclusion, and I really like the way that you summarized that. So you're off to a really great start, Rashad. Just make sure that you flesh that out to the necessary length. And by fleshing it out, you'll add some source citations, which are required for this assignment. You'll need to do some research and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this turns into. Thanks so much. Bye.